Robyn, you are a literal powerhouse of inspiration and empowerment. You specialize in coaching professionals, mainly elite athletes, on post-competitive life planning and career transitions. You have a plethora of experience working in tech, being an athlete yourself, being an entrepreneur, and working in so many different industries. Your energy is just the best. This isn't even a compliment, it's an objective fact. You truly practice what you preach. You do the hard stuff. You run marathons, you're writing a book. It's really apparent it all comes from your heart. You share so much transformative information. It was a challenge to accumulate all I wanted to talk to you about. I know you have lots of clients, so I want to get to the meat of your mission. You put lots of emphasis on self-empowerment, alignment, fun, commitment, and adaptability in regards to achievable, actionable strategies. Can you share one exercise you might share in a life expansion coaching session?
Oli, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for those kind words. It is such an honor to be here and to be sharing this work and this mission with your community. As you know, this work is really meaningful to me, and it's the stuff that literally changes lives. So if there's something in my answers today, in our conversation today, that can help someone in your community, hopefully lots of someones, step into the next chapter of their lives, then I am going to be over the moon. So just jumping right into your first question, absolutely. I'm happy to share an exercise that I do often with my clients. So here's the thing. When we are stepping into the next chapter of our life, of ourselves, we're actually evolving into the next version of who we are being. So something I love to do with my clients is to help them write a letter of gratitude to their yesterday self. I call it yesterday's me. Yesterday's me brought me this far in life. Your vision, you, the next version of who you're going to be, she's got to release some things. She's got to release some beliefs. She's got to release some habits. She's got to release some patterns, and she's got to adopt new ones. There's going to be some big changes that come in so that we can start to see different results. So one of the things that I have them do, like I said, is write a literal letter thanking yesterday's me. Thank you for all the things that you brought me through. Thank you for all of the lessons that you taught me. Thank you for being there for me and getting me this far. And then in the second part of the letter, after you call out with really deep, heartfelt gratitude, all the things that you appreciate about yesterday's you getting you to this point in life, then you reassure them that the next version of you can take it from here. So yesterday's you, she can relax. She can take it all in and watch, as this transformation happens, but that she can basically retire with ease and with a sense of comfort that the next version of you, she's got this.
You're an expert on manifestation, not the hustle culture kind, not the dream and don't do kind, but the kind facilitating real transformations in being. You teach that being is how to efficiently materialize our visions for our lives. You often talk about how important intentions are. For example, if someone's goal is only to leave their past situation, they can leak so much energy focusing on where they no longer want to be instead of where they're headed. Can you give an example of approaching the future from a positively motivated place?
Yeah, absolutely. And this can be sometimes tricky for people to access, especially when they're at the beginning stages of transformation, because in the beginning stages, we're more focused on what we don't like over what we don't want any more of. So the word instead, coupled with the question, what would I love, can be so powerful in helping the brain to switch gears into the positive motivation. So if you're thinking, I hate my job, I'm feeling unfulfilled in my relationship, I feel so stuck. Okay, what would you love to feel instead? What would you love to be normal for you instead? What would you love to experience instead of what you're experiencing now? It helps the brain flip into that positive motivation pretty quickly. And that word instead can be really helpful for people who are kind of stuck on the things that you don't want any more of, because it requires the brain to think of that stuff as a contrast so it can more easily access the opposite or something even better than what they're focusing on now.
You do lots of one-on-one consultations and coaching, but you also share lots of empowering stuff publicly. Tell me about your monthly Reflect and Reset live sessions.
Yeah, in addition to the one-on-one coaching and the group coaching that I absolutely love, I'm really proud to have started offering 2 free trainings a month open to the public in an effort to make this work much more accessible to more people. The Reflective Reset Sessions is the second of those 2 trainings each month, and that's where we focus on really looking back at the past month, taking stock of all the progress that we've made, counting and celebrating our wins, and then we take that momentum and that encouragement and that creative energy and we forward it, we reset for the next month ahead so that we're setting goals and we're setting our sights for the next month to be really productive, to be really expansive, and to have that forward momentum energy carried into it from day one.
I admire your vulnerability in sharing your own life journey. Something you've shared on IG was that your focus is service over self-preservation. I really respect that and adhere to it myself. It has been pushing past imposter syndrome and the fear of being seen, especially being seen trying and sometimes failing, that has most helped me connect with people on the same wavelength as me, people on my team. I really believe authenticity is the highest resonating frequency. That said, I still struggle with vulnerability, especially physically. I've always hated running, but I always feel so good when I do it. I know you can relate. I'm fascinated by how you went from hating running to running marathons. Can you share any tips on overcoming uncomfortable challenges and ways it has paid off for you?
Oh my gosh, my relationship with running has definitely evolved over the years for sure. And it's still a work in progress. I won't lie. So the idea about overcoming challenges, uncomfortable challenges, is a really important one because transformation, any kind of change that you're inviting into your life is going to be inherently uncomfortable because we're comfortable in the familiar. We're comfortable with this version of life now. You might not like it, right? And you might be feeling the discomfort of your system saying it's time for things to change. But the process of the actual transformation is inherently uncomfortable. So there's a couple things that you can do to keep in mind, because if it's something that you really want, whether it's running a marathon or whether it's making a huge leap in your life, or maybe it's just starting a new habit, in order to get through the discomfort, one, welcome the discomfort. Take it instead of an indicator that you're doing something wrong, that this is part of the process. When we can stop resisting discomfort and just realize, of course I'm uncomfortable right now, that's part of the journey, then we can get on with the work that needs to be done and stop resisting the discomfort that we're feeling. Number 2, have a really strong why. Really lean into the reason why you're entering into this in the first place. What do you want on the other side of this discomfort? This is why it's so important to have a why and have a vision that you are truly in love with, because the discomfort of the journey to get there will be well worth it if it's really something that you want on the other side.
Going back to being over doing, you've said outcomes are side effects to how you are being, meaning everything within us counts, from inner monologue to cultivating the right motivation to having dreams that are challenging enough to get us actually moving and changing and to shift the world around us. Change can seem so impossible and scary until you're doing it right, and it's vital. You said something else so powerful that really stuck out to me. The most sustainable road to a changed world is thriving even in the face of broken systems and societal ills. And that's an act of rebellion in and of itself. It's the more effective way to create a larger impact as a person whose cup is full instead of a person who is constantly emptying their own cup and trying to pour from it. Entertain the possibility that you can be both an agent for change and live your best life simultaneously. It's a beautiful take. To someone just beginning an empowered journey, who maybe feels defeated and is struggling seeing beyond limitations right now, what are some ways to start sustainably being their true selves?
This is such an important topic and could honestly be its own podcast episode, really. Society thrives when all of its members are thriving. We've seen demonstrations of society can only thrive if everyone struggles and suffers in pursuit of the thriving, which to me is an an outdated notion that we don't have to subscribe to. I personally reject it. Discomfort, what we talked about earlier, is different than struggle. Like, we don't need to be burning ourselves out. We don't need to be sacrificing ourselves in the pursuit of something better on the other side. We can grow and it can be uncomfortable. We can get stretchy and it's going to feel new and unfamiliar, but we don't have to be pursuing our true best selves while sacrificing ourselves, at the expense of who we are now, right? So some ways that you can start doing that is start small. Start focusing your attention on the areas of your life where you feel fulfilled, you feel happy, you feel amused, you feel comfortable, you feel safe, you feel recognized. These might be micro moments at this point, but when you can train your attention to focus on those elements of existence, you'll start to notice more and more of them. And we want to get to the point where the expansiveness of life, the vitality of life, is now the norm for you instead of unusual for you, right? So start focusing your attention on where those moments of vitality are showing up for you, and then start noticing, what are the things that I can do where I can generate those feelings of vitality, of expansiveness, of creativity, of happiness, of love, of appreciation, right? Those are things that you can control. We don't have to be at the mercy of, when things around me change, then I can thrive. It might feel super small right now, but those seemingly small actions will add up. And the more that you practice them, the more that you prioritize them, and the more that you focus your attention on when those expansive feelings of vitality and aliveness do show up in your life, the more you're going to start to see things change over time, and often faster than you might expect it.
Thank you so much, Robyn, for all your inspiring words and for your time. A lot of people will benefit from listening to this. Where can we find more on your work and mission?
Oli, thank you so much for inviting me onto the show. It's really, really wonderful to have the opportunity to share this work with your community and more people. And if anyone has any questions or wants to connect, they're welcome to reach out and connect with me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. Those are the two platforms that I'm on most. And I am just so thrilled that more people get to have the opportunity to go for what it is that they want to be pursuing in life, and to do so from a place of thriving instead of struggle. So thanks again so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.